As mentioned, I'm going to have this as a recording on YouTube. So for those that couldn't join us this morning, but it's Jim from Seekers. And of course, we're talking about our kickoff for SkiNorthAB. And what you're seeing here is just the expedition page that's now live on Snow Seekers. And so certainly appreciate the opportunity to bring everyone together in what's now an approved partnership with Travel Alberta around promotion of the North and certainly promotion of your communities and attractions. So obviously, what are we up to? Well, at SkiNorthAB, it's a content production and marketing campaign that's specifically highlighting your destinations and your experiences within. So we're obviously working through this winter in which to produce a whole series of video, photography, and editorial and social media, which will be promoted and produced via us at Seekers, and then as well as some influencers that I'll introduce to you this morning. And then, of course, those assets are going to be put to use in which to help increase lift ticket sales, increase overnight stays. And then, of course, the third piece of our goal here is to leave you with assets for your own use. So I'm actually got a call with Tom Babin, who's the Director of Content at Travel Alberta on Thursday, just in which to talk it through with him and present our content strategy with SkiNorthAB so that they've got a really good handle on things at Travel Alberta in terms of how they'd be able to use the assets as well. So there'll be a whole sharing strategy that we'll talk about in a couple of seconds. So when we look at the partners who are involved, obviously this has been an approved partnership with Travel Alberta. So we've obviously got Marmot, Nighthawk, Vermilion. Mary Lee Pryor just passes on her regards. She had a budget meeting this morning that she had to prepare for council. But of course, Vermilion, excited from the skinny ski aspect. They have the Becky Scott Nordic Center, Canoesu with Jurgen and team just out of Cold Lake. James, who's taking the lead on this with Travel Alberta from the Grand Prairie Tourism Association. Kristen's joining us this morning from Fort McMurray Tourism. And as well, we'll have Tyler a part of this, which is their sports tourism arm at the DMO. Miriam from Jasper and Tourism Jasper, of course. And then Vista Ridge, which is being the ski hill out of Fort McMurray. So it's an honor to bring you all together on a project that I know will have legs moving forward. And we're certainly pleased and certainly honored that you've all invested in us in which to help with those goals in terms of increased overnight visitation, increased lift ticket sales, and of course, generating more assets for you all to use in your own purposes. So when we get into things, what you'll see right now on Snow Seekers is you'll see the Snow Seekers SkiNorthAB section. I'll send you a link, post this, or Nancy, maybe if you could, just while we're on here, if you wanted to just post a link to everyone just in the message, that would be appreciated. But this is the expedition page that Nancy has built. Nancy from our team is our content manager. So she'll be sending you through this season. You'll see it from Nancy at seekers-media.com. And what you'll find from her is a whole series of assets as part of this relationship. We'll be sending you photos and video and editorial and social media posts and suggested posts right through this. But right now, what you'll find on this link that she's just shared in the chat box is a link to the expedition section. And right now we have a whole series, one from each of your destinations there. And then obviously we'll be adding new content as the production gets going here through the rest of the season. Now, what you'll find in each of those stories, just like this Nighthawk example that you'll see on your screen, is certainly there's a story here which obviously gives people an understanding of, in this example, the experiences up in Grand Prairie. But then I've just taken an excerpt from this, and you'll see on the right-hand side with the dad and the son just about to push him down the hill here is the excerpt from that story, and that's obviously encouraging people to book now. And that's taking them from our site to your site in which to do just that. So this is something that we'll speak with each of you with directly in terms of where exactly you want us to drive the traffic to. And that's up to you in terms of where, again, we're funneling traffic. So think of these stories as online funnels, and we're obviously connecting them to an audience that's a ski and snowboard crowd within your region of interest, and then transposing that interest from our site to your site by allowing them to click through from our sites to where you're looking to have that traffic driven to. So how is this going to be promoted? Well, obviously off of Snow Seekers, we have a targeted Facebook ad budget. Those are per your targets. So we understand, for example, from east to west, certainly Cold Lake and Fort McMurray, Vermilion, you all might have different interests. Certainly Edmonton is our first and foremost for everyone, but you all have different particular markets of interest that we want to work with you on in which to get this content in front of those audiences, in addition to our Edmonton ski and snowboard crowd. You'll obviously see a very coordinated social media effort. Barb Martowski, who's our director from social media, she'll be coordinating in terms of tagging and doing different things through the season. We plan on doing some Facebook Lives through January and some Facebook Lives in February from your locations. And then obviously from our side in Snow Seekers, you'll see that content promoted on our homepage, within our e-news, across our snow conditions, which is one of our more popular sections within Snow Seekers. And then as well, as mentioned, Nancy will be sending out some Dropbox content, and that will be going to you, and it'll be going to various partners that we've brought into this as well, including Edmonton Ski and Snowboard Shops. So what we're doing with Sundance and with United Cycle, Out of Bounds, Ski Cellar, Pace Setter, and Ruckus out of Prince George, specifically to Marmot and specifically to Grand Prairie, is we'll be sending out content, Dropbox content. This will have suggested posts in there, little video and photo clips, making it easy for these ski and snowboard shops in which to join us in the promotion of your content, and ultimately seeing that content drive click-throughs and likes back to your pages, in which for those skiers and snowboarders to convert now and buying those packages or buying those lift tickets. As mentioned, we've got a call on Thursday or Friday this week with Tom, Director of Content at Travel Alberta. So one of the things that you can be confident in is our ability in which to create this content on brand to the new Travel Alberta Ready brand. Tom and his team at TA have been keeping Seekers and our correspondents very updated in terms of exactly what that brand looks like and how that brand feels and how we can bring that brand alive through video and photography. So again, you can rest assured that the content that you're going to be receiving will be on brand as best we can, assuming Mother Nature and ULAR cooperate with us. But again, we'll be creating that content specific to their brand. That's strategic for us. The reason we do that is obviously because the more that we can put the brand into the content that we're sharing with you and with Travel Alberta, just means the more love that we'll get out of it, and them using the content in various platforms and on various Facebook and Twitter or Instagram channels around the world, and helping to raise the bar around the experiences in Northern Alberta. Of course, we'll be sharing this content with Go Ski Alberta as well, similar in the sense that they'll receive suggested posts from us, e-news content, making it really easy for them to simply cut and paste and share it out on their networks as well. And then finally, as per the next pieces here, just as we get into who's coming and when, you'll also see influencer efforts from Jeremy Dirksen and Chris C. Now, Chris is actually the lead content manager for Service Credit Union. So interesting to note, Jonathan, just for example, your partnership with them this year in your Ski for Free on Fridays, you'll be able to leverage through their networks as well. And we'll see some love out of their social and their blog channels. And I'll have a whole bunch more details for you next week as far as what the Service Credit Union relationship looks like and how they're going to be helping us from an influencer standpoint. So that's our approach in terms of how this will be promoted. Before I get into the next, which is the timing and distribution and all that good stuff, I'll just take a breath for a second and see if anyone has any questions. Cool. So then when we look at timing, in terms of when will it be produced, we've obviously got assets out now from our friends with regards to Canoosoo Ridge and with Grand Prairie and Nighthawk. Then we've got our visits will be happening around mid-January. That'll be with myself and Chris Wheeler. Chris is a extremely accomplished videographer. Brian and the team from Marmot have worked with Chris in the past and can contest. Hey, Brian, you get some good stuff out of Wheeler, hey? He's probably on mute. But anyways, those assets will be in market from January 20th through to March 1st. then you can expect those that have committed to a second round or a third round with us. That third round will happen, we call it second visit, but it'll happen towards the end of January, the top of February. And that'll be with Dirksen and Chris. And those assets will be out in marketing and promotion from around the 10th of February through to the 15th. Now, we'll have assets to you throughout the relationship in January and February, which you can definitely expect by the end of January, you'll have new video, photo, and editorial to play with. We're pushing to wrap this up by the 15th of March, which will give us the time we need in which to get the analytics and the final report due out to Travel Alberta towards the end of March, because of course this all has to wrap by April 1st for year end for Travel Alberta. And then I'll be up in Grand Prairie. Hopefully you all are going to get a chance to join us. That's going to be at the Growing the North conference, which is the February 26th to the 28th. Did I get the dates right, Jonathan?
Yeah, I believe that's correct.
Sweet. So Jonathan and I are going to be on stage at the Growing the North conference. And again, hopefully you all can join us, because we'll be talking about this partnership. And we'll also be talking about the other partnership, which is SkiNorthAB. And that brings together Powder King, Troll, Quesnel, Smithers, Fort St. James, and Murray Ridge. And just as an FYI, for those of you that are going to be in attendance to the April Canada West Ski Areas Conference, there's actually going to be a Ski North sit down, and that's where we're going to chat collectively through the Canada West Ski Areas Association. I'm just chatting with Christopher Nicholson right now about this, about how and where there's collaboration potentials between you all. So for example, we know that with Ski North BC, a big focus is on Prince George. And so certainly we'll be working with Ruckus, which is the ski shop there, but how and what are we going to be doing in which to promote the Alberta program to Prince George, while at the same time collaboration potentials between communities, and start seeing you guys ideally work together in a bigger and better fashion, again, collectively highlighting the North and collectively promoting the North and the Northern experiences to markets inclusive of Kamloops and Quesnel, Prince George, Red Deer, Calgary, Saskatoon, Edmonton, and collective, and start seeing a bigger, broader push about the Northern experiences, and ultimately see you starting to collaborate more in bigger and better ways. So stay tuned on that. We'll have some updates on that in January as we get through the first part of this. So again, from a Thailand's perspective, we're into phase one right now. So you'll see some stuff on your social channels, hashtag SkiNorthAB. We certainly encourage you in which to use that tag this year. The goal of that tag is obviously from around using this and having that content attached to a tag. It will start allowing you in which to pull content from that hashtag. So we're in that mode right now through till early January. Then, as mentioned, we'll be up through phase two from around the 10th of January through that week, in which to create a whole bunch more assets, which will go out from the 20th through till around the top of March. You'll see a content delivery from us and Nancy around the third week of January. Then we'll be into phase three, which will include Jeremy Dirksen and Chris C, and that'll be coming out in February through the middle of March. And then again, we'll have another content delivery for you in the middle of February. And then this all wraps up towards the end of March with our analytics. And of course, at the bottom here, you'll see that this is all produced again according to Travel Alberta's brand. And then, of course, you all have a say in this content because it's directed. And I know I've had a chance to catch up with each of you just with regards to exactly what you're looking to achieve this year within the content that we'll leave you and we'll be promoting. So from each of your commitments, you'll see a series of deliverables. Some of you will see more than others, simply based on your investment level. But we obviously, each of you will be receiving a minimum of one 45 to 60 second video. You'll each be receiving a minimum of 2 6 to 10 second, we call them moments. These are perfect for your Facebook, Instagram. You can boost them. They do a really good job in using, putting out a piece of cheese, if you will, in terms of pulling people off of Facebook or Instagram or Twitter or what have you and into your website. You'll each be receiving a minimum of 2 minutes of B-roll for your own purposes. This is 4K content, which is just up from HD. So this is TV commercial stuff that you can use for your own purposes. You'll have a feature story on snow seekers, a feature story on an influencer site, That'll be marketed out to a minimum of 20,000 people over the 30 days. Of course, we're specifically targeting ski and snowboard enthusiasts. For us, we'll provide you with some really strong service. We'll take care of all of the itinerary. You can be involved as little and as much as you like in terms of the actual visits. We would certainly encourage you to have your social media folks out with us. We can do some testimonials, some Facebook Lives. You can capture some behind the scenes content while we're out producing, so that way when the content comes out, you've got your own social in addition to the social content we'll provide you. And then, of course, you can trust that you'll get a solid analytics report from us as well. And that's what I know for now. Questions or comments?
It all sounds really good to me.
Hey, Kristen.
No, sounds great there, Jim. Sounds like you guys have a pretty structured plan there and everything. And also, I just posted an update there too for Growing the North. So it's actually February 20th and 21st, and I put the link to the website and everything in the comments. So
nice one. So I'll be up there. I'm a keynote speaker. John Montgomery speaking, who is the host from Amazing Race Canada, as well as Jay Bear. I'm not sure if any of you have had a chance to experience Jay's presentations. He is convinceandconvert.com. If you haven't had a chance to check out the lineup for the Growing the North conference, I highly recommend you do and book in, because there'll be some really strong opportunities for us to sit down as a collective and talk with groups like Community Futures and talk with different opportunities in which to help us continue to see, ideally, momentum grow from winter 19 to winter 2020. But yeah, so that's where we're at. Any other questions or comments, folks?
Not for me, Jim. Brian here. I know, it's pretty, straightforward. I think it's a great plan. I'm very confident that you'll deliver, as you always do, Jim. So, I'm real happy with this, and just look forward to trying to get more people into this sport and moving around and using all the slopes that we have here and the tremendous facilities that everybody has. So that's what we're all looking for, is get more and more people skiing, keep them skiing, and get them into the sport, because our industry depends on it. So thanks for putting this together, Jim, and look forward to seeing how it all pans out as the next few months go on.
Excellent. Well, again, we've got some strong background and some expertise in moving these types of programs through. So, as mentioned, we'll be very comprehensive and very hands-off, but please take as much investment or interest in it as you wish and that you have bandwidth for. But just know as well that between myself and Nancy, Chris Wheeler, Barb Martowski, and the rest of our team, that we've got your back this season. And certainly, this is a partnership. So if you have content that you're looking to share, if we haven't already, Barb from our team is going to be reaching out to each of you, which to set up a cross-posting relationship on Facebook. That is very handy, because that will allow us in which to share video minus the Dropbox, and we can share content natively. So if you've got some great stuff that you want to share with us, let's get going on that now. We don't need to wait until January in order to start cross-promoting and doing different things with each other. If you've got things that you're looking to promote through December, share it with us. I'll introduce you to Barb and Nancy via email just after this call, so that, again, if you've got some of the details that you want promoted, and we've got space, we need content, let us know what you've got to promote, and let's get on with that, because, again, the season's a short one, and we want to make the most of this partnership in helping you out as much as we can. So it's a partnership. It's not just based on, situation for what we're doing in January and February. If you've got stuff, then share it with us now, and we can start getting that content out there for you and start promoting. And as Brian mentioned, just keep raising the bar here and making sure we're bringing more people to your facilities.
And Jim, Jonathan here, just with using hashtag SkiNorthAB, are you guys pulling from that as we do share things throughout the season here at the beginning part here?
Bingo. So that's one of the levers in which for us to obviously, start that engagement tactic and start moving that forward. So the more that you're using that tag, just gives us and our network more opportunities in which to engage, because we'll be pulling from that tag and engaging with that tag throughout the season.
Everybody, Brian here again. Sorry, I'm gonna have to sign off. I got a conference call coming up here in 5 minutes. It's pretty important. So thanks for the update, Jim, and good luck everybody with the season. And I know we all keep our foot on the gas pretty heavy for the next number of months. Best of luck, everybody, and I'm gonna sign off. Okay.
Thanks for the time today, Brian.
Yeah, thanks.
And I think we're all finished up here anyways, folks. If there's anything else, I'll reach out to you via email directly, or we can have some one-on-one chats. If there's any other comments before we sign off, questions? Cool. Well, thanks again for the time and efforts today, folks. You have yourselves a great rest of your week, and we'll talk more individually as we move forward here. Bye for now.
Thank you. Bye.
Thanks. Bye.